Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, I really should say. This is Joe Montaldo. This is the Authors Quill. You know, it's a new show. Only its second show. Last week we debuted. Wolf Moon was out here howling at the moon. He was supposed to be with us last night, but there was a communication glitch, but we'll have him back soon. There's been a lot of weirdness going on. That's all I can tell you. You know, it's the holidays, people. First off, look, people, when you drive your car, it's not supposed to be doing this. Okay? It's supposed to be doing this. No, I'm serious now, people, because I drive back and forth from New Orleans. I commute every day about an hour and a half. And I've been watching. And these people are drunk. A lot of this early in the morning, afternoons. No, 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 no. They're doing this. And trying to watch the road in their cars. There's like, little things on the side of the road that make noise. I'm thinking, yeah, y'all gonna get us all killed. And we're all doing 80 because nobody obeys the freaking speed limit. Oh, no, I'm sorry, sir. I do 70. The rest of them people do 80, and just in case, but in case my insurance company's listening or something, because I do know a couple of them girls over there listen. It's just weird. And then people are such gripey, pissy, cranky moods right now. I'm gonna call this the cranky Christmas. I mean, everybody really wants the holiday. You can tell that people decorate and they're spending money. And then there's the other problem. So I'm listening to NBC the other night, which is just like painful for me. But anyway, Fox and NBC are just painful for me to listen to. But anyway, I'm listening to them, and they're talking about all these malls are full and Walmart's full and Target. So I said, okay, cool. I won't go in there. So I had to go to Walmart for something from a barbecue pit. It's about half empty. I'm like, okay, you're going to be waiting for hours. I was in and out in less than 15 minutes. I was like, okay, so I said, you know what? So I ran by Best Buy because Best Buy usually got a line around. Nope. I was like, now I'm now. Granted, I'm in Mississippi. I'm in Biloxi and in Gulfport, so there's not as big a group of people here, but still, they're poorer people here. So you think they would be out for the deals. So a friend of mine was like, well, what's going on? And when I talked to other friends of mine that are out and about, said, no, Joe, the crowds ain't what they're saying they are. So now people have gone to, like they always do, taking pictures and posting them on the internet of the crowds not being what they said they're going to be. Now, I don't even know why they lie about it because we know what everybody's doing. They're going, oh, Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Oh, wait, eBay. Oh, wait, Best Buy. Oh, wait. I mean, unless you want to physically get the product in your hand that day, there's really no reason to shop these stores. I mean, matter of fact, a lot of times you get better deals online than you do in the store. I don't know. It's a shame. I mean, I'm going to miss all the brick and mortar stores when they're gone. I'm going to be crying like a baby. But what's my favorite store to shop in? I can't tell you that, man. I have fans. They might show up at my store or something. No, I can't tell you all that. No, I can't because I don't know what it is really. Walmart. No, Walmart's like the least favorite store I go in. I'm not even going to lie. I like nice things. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm poor, but I still like nice things. Anyway, we have Patrick Hazlett with us tonight. Sean and I have talked a few times over the years, and we've had some interesting conversations. I know Carmen's trying to drag him on UFO Undercover with us, so we'll get into some really weird stuff on that. But tonight, we brought him on tonight. He is an author. I think he's an author. Maybe he's an illustrator. No, I'm just teasing. He's an author. Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again, Joe.
Good to see you too. So 2017 winner, right?
That was
Right as the Future.
Right as the Future. But we talked.
Oh yeah,
multiple times.
Oh yeah, many times. Yeah, no, I like talking to you. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're a lot of fun to talk to. What do you mean, Christopher? Well, no, you're going to get me in trouble, Chris. Stop it. So I've learned some things, talking to a lot of authors and illustrators, and it's really weird when you meet authors when they're young. They're really, most of them are very, very outgoing. They don't. Well, let me rephrase it. About half of them outgoing. Half are inverts, the other half are extroverts. But the illustrators when they're young are all inverts. They're just like well, they're expressing themselves through art. But I noticed most, and it's weird because a lot of the authors I meet, especially at Writers of the Future, most of them are in their mid-30s, maybe mid-30s to higher 30s. Mm-hmm. There's a few younger, there's a few older, but there seems to be that group in there that are in their 30s. Most of them have, already been through life or been living life, and now are authors. And even if they've been working at the author business the whole time, it's still, they've also had other things that they had to be doing, jobs, careers, military. What do you mean, Christopher? Yeah, people in military, right? What are you talking about? I'm just going to let that slide. That was just ignorant. No, really, people. It doesn't matter what you are in life. if you have the talent or you have the will, in my case, it'll be will. In his case, it's talent. You can write. Get out there and write. I tell people all the time, go to Writers of the Future, take the course. It'll help you out. I can tell you this: if you win, I mean, truly, if you win, you're going to learn stuff you're not going to learn anywhere else because you get to work with the greats, man. But you know what? The greats are not as talkative as the younger ones are. Well, okay, that's okay. I'm getting myself in trouble. That's true and not true. Okay. When they're teaching or on stage, they're when they get off stage, you get quiet for some reason. A little inverted. But the other hand, the illustrators, especially the ones over 35 or 40, ooh, they chatty. I know, like Echo and Tom, they're a lot of fun to hang out with. And y'all, the only way you can tell y'all is if y'all actually meet the people. No, they're a lot of fun to hang out with. But anyway, Sean, what you been up to? Where you been hiding out at? You been writing? Just chilling?
Oh man, I've been doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I have my third anthology coming out. It's called Weird World War China.
3. Oh, China. Oh, because we talked about 3 last time. That's right.
Yeah. Which is so when Weird World War III came out, it's an anthology about 20 stories about what would it be like if the U.S. got into war with Russia, kind of with some weird, and that came out in 2020, and then as you know, Putin invaded Ukraine,
and now Ukraine's
2022.
invading Russia. I'm sorry, that was bad on my part. Bad, Joe. You know you like Putin. Behave. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I would. It's a little disturbing that kind of presaged the invasion of Ukraine and basically proxy war between the U.S. and Russia. Well, now I got one about China coming out. So that'll be out January 2nd. You can pre-order it now on Amazon. But it is about what if the United States got into a war, kind of World War III with China, and what would happen. And, it was a bunch of different short stories. And I definitely hope folks check it out because that could be the next shoe to drop. First, we got Russia and Ukraine. Then we got Israel and Gaza. And now,
what do you mean, Jimmy? No, that's what he's telling me. It's not out yet. So he's got the other one out. Weird War 3. Damn, it's tongue tied. It's out, and you can get it. And we talked about it the last one. He's just telling you that's the one about Russia. This one's going to be about China. Well, yes, China's communist, red China. We can't help they're communists. We didn't make them that way. Well, I guess you could say we did make it. It might have been a reaction test. Who knows? But anyway, go pre-order it now. That way when it comes out. No, he can't tell you about the whole book. Then you're not going to want to read it. I mean, what? I can see this is going to be an ornery crowd. Shouldn't y'all be out Christmas shopping or something? It's Saturday, a couple of weeks before Christmas. Shouldn't y'all be out Christmas? Oh, that's right. We're giving away lightsabers. Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yes, we gave away a Kylo Ren lightsaber. It was $1,199 last night. Yes, the gentleman donated to the beautiful lightsaber. Right, yay tall. All the sound effects and little side blades come out. Got the top blades. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's. No, we're giving away tonight. We're giving away actually. Not Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. That's what we're giving away tonight. Mm-hmm. Later in the show, not right now. Not right now. Second hour, people. Yeah, about mid-second hour. Somewhere we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll do we'll give away a lightsaber. The Obi-Wans I think are around $600 or $700. Yeah, if you buy it. They're expensive. I don't know why they're so expensive, but they're expensive. I think on the ones where the hilts are designed like the ones from the movies, they probably have to pay copyright on that. That's probably why they cost more expensive. Because ones like these, let me show you right quick. See, ones like these, there you go. See, these I think are about. This was a present, but from the owner. But I think he said this one was like $100 or $150, and it don't have no sound effects. I wish it did. I gotta do my own sound. Let me kill you anyway. But these I think are a little bit cheaper, and we are going to give away a couple of those later in the year. All of them going to have sound effects. So this he just gave me because it was there and I was bugging. I like the hilt on it. Also, too, if you can tell, let me show y'all. That's a fighting blade. So if you want to join the contest and go fight with your other lightsaber owners, you can. So I'm gonna tell you, when they come, he's actually gonna send you an email. They come with a glass blade. That's how they're made. The glass blades are not made for banging on anything. Okay, nothing. Trust me, if I'd had a glass blade, it would have already been broke like 9 times already, probably more than that. Shit, the first night I had it, my Chihuahua, she was in a hotel room when I got her, and I turned it on. She flipped out, tried to eat it, knocked it over 3, 4 times. She said, "Dad, it does not belong here, whatever the hell this thing is." So I'm just telling you. So, I mean, if you're going to put it up on a wall and hang it somewhere, you want the glass blade, that's fine. But I would recommend getting a fighting blade is what I would do. See, Sean would need a fighting blade because he's probably like me. I ambush my stepdaughter when she coming out of the room and stuff. It got so bad she went and bought one of her own. Friends will come up, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm going to kill you. I am not your father." Anyway, they're fun. That's what they're for. No, they're for having fun. You don't have to stick them on the wall unless you want to. It's not like my sword collection I have. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not in this room. It's in another room. It's actually in the hallways. Mm-hmm. Well, because I don't know. It's where the wife wanted it. You know how that shit goes, man. I ain't arguing with her about it. No, it's just it was too much for this one. There's already too much stuff in this. So anyway, getting back to the idea, I'll stop being distracted tonight. We're trying to speak here. I'm gonna send Sean's married to a voodoo priestess. Y'all better watch it out. And she will take one of them dolls and y'all, I don't know. It's worse than alien probing out here. I'm just saying, people, it's worse. Sean's like, "Don't get me in trouble." He said, "I'm taking the fifth on this one."
Yeah, it creates quite the picture. Quite the picture Lord. In your head.
Yes, people. No, actually, Sean is a lot of fun. I mean, he's it's hard to explain when you meet different authors and different illustrators. Some are very just, I don't know. I can't find the word I'm looking for, but they're just very. That's all I can say. And some are much more fun than others. They really are more open. They want to get out and learn. They ask. So when you attend these classes, and you can tell, you'll be allotted to this 12 winners. Well, the first year I went, there was 24 winners, but regardless, there's usually 12 winners. So there's 12 people in the class, plus maybe 1 or 2 other people, and then some people from Writers of the Future, and then of course the judges. And they're all talking, and you can really tell. First off, no, it's not because they get on the front row, because the troublemakers usually get in the middle or somewhere. Some get on the front row, but they ask a lot more questions, is what it comes down to. This past year, I didn't see as much of this. Everybody seemed to be way more withdrawn. It was hard to get interviews. Everybody was scared to talk. I never, this particular, plus it was a busy group. They had them no breaks. It was back to back flipping, 6:30 to 5, because they had too many judges is what it was. So it makes it hard. I mean, I told John, if you're going to do it again this year, I'll just stay at home, because really, I'm not getting that many interviews. It's we've actually, I got Carmen actually booking interviews in advance, so it's not as big a pain in the ass when I get there. No, I got to Writers and Futures every year, guys, and go meet everybody and say, I want to meet the people who are going to be the billionaires in the future from writing movies. No, we're not talking about Disney tonight. No, because Disney is no, we're not. We'll save that for the news, okay? Because Disney is Disney. I don't know how to explain it. They're not the company I grew up with. It's not that they're horrible or misleading. I mean, they do some stuff that's questionable, but it's just the overall quality of the movies. Even though the graphics are great, the actors are well paid. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like those movies before. The ones that came before. Maybe it's just me, but I've talked to a lot of people. It doesn't seem to be an age thing. It just seems to be that most people don't seem to feel that. I think Disney's taking too many venues on. I mean, shit, they bought out everybody. I mean, if they could get their hands on Star Trek, they would. Let's just be honest about it. I mean, they own Star Wars. How many shoot offs of Star Wars? That's what you should do, Sean. See, from your books, you should have them little offshoots like Star Wars does. Oh,
well, first they got to take off, right? First, you got to get a lot of people buying it.
Well, that's true. That's true. But
you get a franchise, and you start getting success in that franchise. You never let it go.
What do you
and
mean?
you just build
Jimmy
it up.
Jimmy says you just like to see shit blown up. That's why you write about wars. This is Jimmy. Okay, first off, you might be right, but that was rude, man.
I mean, look, he's not wrong. I used to be a tanker, right? I used to
Yeah, there
be,
you go.
yeah, I used to be an armor officer. So
Oh,
yeah,
that
it was
should be a
fun
fun
while it
job.
was fun while it lasted. Yeah, it was
That
a
had to
fun
be a
job.
fun job. I know when I used to get on a flight deck on a Nimitz, I was like, yeah. I remember my commander tells me, he said, you're way too enthusiastic for this job, Joe. He said, most people come out here, they're worried about dying or getting killed. He said, you're like, no, because I said, you know why? He said, why? I said, never one time thought I'm going to die out here. He's like, why? I said, because it's not, I'm just telling you, it's not the place I'm going to go. It'll be somewhere else besides. I loved it. It was great, man. I mean, I had the whole flight deck. I was in charge of the whole flight deck, including pilots. They even had to listen to what I was doing. So, I was out there in charge of everybody. But I will say this about them. They only let us stay on usually 4 or 5 hours, and they would switch PCs, which are
Mhm.
plane captains, every couple of hours because it does get taxing after a while. You're out, and it starts the vibrations and the noise starts to wear
Mhm.
in your head after a while. But oh no, I've seen some hairy. I seen one. I seen an F-18 flying to the side of the Nimitz Condon Tower. Just, pow! Thank God all its weapons were not armed. Because it just smashed into the side of it. I've seen 3 different planes get rolled over by the carrier. They would come off and stall, and just nosedive down. I think 4 of the pilots survived. 2 of them they didn't, but you would see like a chute come over the deck.
Oh
As
wow.
the carrier's going by, and you're thinking, "Oh shit, is this guy going to make it past the props?" It
Oh
gets
man.
crazy out there, man. But they want to simulate battle conditions. They want your brain where it needs to be in case somebody decides to blow something up. I know when them stupid Iranian jets flew over the Nimitz that time, it was like, really, you cannot be that stupid, right? It was like, it was planes everywhere. I was like, oh my God, they're going to start World War III out here for sure. I mean, the captain was like, well, let me teach these guys a lesson. Plus, I mean, we always have some in the air. They always did. Somebody was always somewhere in the air. People carriers when they're moving, there's usually jets flying around. They don't tell you they're out there. They're not
Yeah.
advertising. Especially these days, F-35s are stealthy, so they're just hovering around, flying around. And the carrier's just doing its thing. Well, that's in case somebody gets stupid and runs up with like a PT boat or something. It's it's just part of being in the service. Oh, what's that, Stephanie? Well, I've asked you this question 100 million times, but since this is a new show and new audience, Stephanie wants to know what it is that made you decide that you could write. Not see these people are rude today. Not that you could be an author, but what made you think you could write? Like Stephanie, I mean that's just rude. Anyway,
No,
I'll
that's a
let you.
no, that's a fair question, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
guess.
if you have stories to tell, if you have, something, a unique perspective you have that other people might not. And sometimes it's just bottled up. You got to get it out. And one way to get it out is on paper. And then you just do that over and over and over again, rinse and repeat, and you get better at it. And that's kind of one of the, I think, things that the Writers of the Future contest does really well is for people who are complete unknowns. They have a contest where anybody can enter. You can enter 4 times a year, and you can keep entering until you win. And it just kind of forces you to get on a schedule and to write a story, at least one story every quarter. And you just get better. The more practice that you have, you just get better. And because it's anonymous, right?
Mhm.
You you're chosen on the quality of solely on the quality of your writing, right?
Helen, what he means by anonymous is the judges. So they're sent in, they get a number. So they assign a number to all the people who write, all the winners who they get a number assigned to them. Well, all the people who submit and get a number assigned to them. So if a judge decides, okay, we like them, then they have to send it back to Joni. Joni has to find the name to the number to match to the name that's in the computer. The judges they don't know if you're male, female, black, white. They don't know anything. All they get is the story. Now, I imagine some judges, because they've been writers a long time, can probably tell if it's a male or a female writer. I mean, a real good one might be, because I've heard a couple of them talking. Oh, I knew it was a guy because of certain things they did, and no, believe it or not, women write blow them up shit too, my friend. Just so you know. Oh, I've read some of these stories. Now you got to remember some writers. If you can't, there's no blood and guts. There's no heavy sex of any kind. Oh, there's some panting here and there, but there's nothing. Just remember, just think PG-13. That's what you got to think. Well, so I find all the stories non-offensive, but yet very entertaining. Figure that one out. Okay, when I grew up, okay.
I think the story that I had that won probably got as close to the edge as you could get, but it was, it was very like clean writing, no profanity, nothing like that.
Yeah,
but it was a dark story.
I noticed they'll let you go kind of dark. I mean, some of the other stories I've written, I've written. Sorry, I've written. Damn, what is with my English tonight? I have read the 10 books behind me in this collection right here, guys, which I can see in the collector's set. And I read another 10 before. I think I'm on like book 26, book 25, something like that. And again, the stories are entertaining. Some of them can be dark. Not dark like, some of the stuff you see on television these days. But what amazes me is I can enjoy the stories as much as I do. Not have to see stuff getting blown up, not to have to hear about sex and blood and guts. And fortunately for me, I grew up with some of this kind of stuff when I was a kid. A lot of television when I was growing up was, they were real strict back then. No, I was not Beaver Cleaver. That's before my time, butthead. I know I'm old, but damn, I'm not that old. Not that I didn't see Beaver Cleaver on TV from time to time or the Martian guy or any of the rest of them because they did come out in reruns. What, Jack Eagles? How old the hell do you think I am? I mean, am I looking at bad tonight? Because I'm not wearing a tie. Is that what the problem is? Man, you best go home with yourself. You fixing to get evicted out of the messenger box. I'm telling you what. By the way, guys and girls, if you would like Sean to see what you're typing, just pop into. We are in 5 Facebook pages tonight, 2 YouTube pages, and of course, if you're on Roku television to watch this. And by the way, next week, we will be on Prime Television. So you will be able to look on your Prime thing and say, oh, my God, there's Joe. Oh, there's Sean. Look, he's on Prime. I'm serious. We're going to be on Prime. Yeah. Well, we're on Roku. Roku's actually on Prime. Or Prime's on Roku. I should have got that backwards. Yeah, Roku is like they're a channel, but they're also I forgot what you call them, but they hold all the other channels. Hulu's there and all of them are there. Yeah, so no, we're going to be in both eventually. I told you eventually we'll be in Apple TV and we'll be on Samsung television, and then we'll be in web television. We sexy. You see the two of us? We sexy guys. If we were walking down the street and we'd be going, God damn, look at these two. Holy moly. I'll tell y'all what. I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. I took out Chris. Me and Chris, he's the Australian guy, Mr. Blue Eyes. And we brought 2 people from the UK and somebody else from America. And we went drinking in Los Angeles. And I didn't pay for one drink. And there was, okay, anyway, there's just a lot of presents being given to us. First off, people were like, you're from New Orleans? Oh my God. So I was getting all kind of freebies. I told him he was from Australia. Then I told him the other 2 from the UK. It was like, oh man, because everybody had an accent, everybody was talking. They were setting stuff on the table. I can't even tell y'all what. Most of that stuff I don't do because I'm old, but still, it was crazy. What do you mean dates? Yeah, but I can't do that. Shame on you, Elizabeth. Sean can do that. I can't do that.
No, I'm a married man.
Like I'm putting him on. No, I have 2 wives. Yes, and a mistress. Mm-hmm. You can never have too many. No, I'm just kidding. Before anybody starts, I was just teasing. Oh Lord. Sometimes I should not come on the radio. I can tell. Anyway, so what is it? So I mean, I know you've been watching the geopolitical environment because there's so much crap going on our planet for the last couple of years. So I mean, the Russia thing did pretty good. So what was it? You just decide, okay, well, Russia's over here. We're going to go check out China now. Because really, I mean, it's hard to say if Russia's number 2 or if China's number 2 right now. I mean, after the ass whooping that they're getting from the Ukraine, I feel that Russia is more smoke and mirrors than they are actually got teeth. And don't get me wrong, Russia, I know that y'all have troops all up and down the border, all across the NATO countries. But still, you're letting an actor kick your you-know-what. I'm losing respect, man. I'm just saying. I was all for Mr. Putin riding on his horse shirtless and stuff. And then all of a sudden, and he's also friended up to Kim Jong-un. That also puts him on my bad side. But anyway, so what was it? I mean, so you said, okay, I'm just going to write this, or was it the next logical conclusion to what?
It's just the next logical conclusion, right? I mean, if Xi were going to go and take Taiwan, next year would be the year.
Ooh,
We got inflation going on here. We got, 2 wars that we're supplying weapons for.
Yes, and you're right, because this would really right now would be the time, because what's his name's not really that strong, and the other guy who's going to probably be president, but from prison. Never had a president from prison before, but hey, what do you mean, Bobby? You want me to tell you what's going to happen? He's going to win the election because right now he's 8 points ahead of Biden in almost every poll. He's 60 points ahead of DeSantis. Nobody's even in his round. Plus, Kennedy's going to run as an independent, which is going to pull at least 17% of the vote from Biden. No Democrats winning this election. So Trump's going to be in prison. He's going to win the presidency. He's going to pardon himself and move to the White House. Yes, he most certainly can, actually. Yes, he can pardon himself. I know it's not, he shouldn't do it, but actually, I think what's really going to happen is he's going to win and lose some of these. They're going to go to appeal, and they'll be at appeal when the election happens. As long as nothing crazy happens, he'll probably win. It'll be 4 years by the time the statute of limitations will be up in the rest of these cases, and that'll be the end of that. It's kind of like the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden thing. It's just, what can you do? That's your next book needs to be about. But wait till they get out of office, because I want that to happen to you, man. So wait.
Well, I mean,
I don't want
things still happen to people, after the Clintons, right? Like, ask Mr. Epstein.
Jesus. Oh, the Clinton murder clan, man. Denise, he's being serious, because there are 100. They argue about this 122 to 144 murders that are accredited to Hillary Clinton, not to Bill, to Hillary. And everybody's like, no. Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, like with the Sean guy. What was his name? Damn, he's famous too. Anyway, he was working for Bernie Sanders, helping Bernie. And Bernie Sanders is making progress. So Hillary offered him a job. He turned him down and said, no, I want to stay with Bernie. He was found 3 days later, dead, laying on a sidewalk, face down, wallet, jewelry, everything still on him, shot in the back of the head with no blood around where he was, which means he was killed somewhere and dumped at that spot. So I'm not, maybe we're hearing, but who would do that? It's assassination style. This guy was just a guy who worked for Bernie Sanders. Seth, I can't remember his last name, but it's Seth somebody. And he was known because he worked for Bernie. And sure enough, there was, in other words, there was no logical reason for anybody to have killed this guy. He was not offensive. He wasn't out hurting anybody other than, he helping Bernie catch up to Hillary. That was it.
And nobody took anything off of
And nobody took anything. And he had a good bit of money and credit cards on. From my understanding, he had some really nice jewelry on him too. So, and the fact that there was no blood speaks volumes. I don't know, but there was way more than that. Of course, when there was, what was it? Not Flowergate. What was it called? Pizzagate, or not Pizzagate. Anyway, it was one of them gates, and there was like 7 people died, and then they had her on something from Arkansas. They had her, and the 2 people who were going to testify, one died of a heart attack the night before testifying. One had a heart attack the day going into court to testify. And neither one had previous heart problems, by the way. See, Sean could write about that, but then Sean might disappear.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch any of that. No way.
That's just dangerous stuff, people. Yeah. I'd be scared of Hillary. I used to like Hillary. I actually at one point said I would vote for Hillary for president, but after watching her with that stuff with Benghazi and some of the other stuff, and then with Trump, I realized she's way more evil than we think she is. Why do you think Bill never says anything? He don't want to get on her hit list. You're talking about her lover was Huma Adin, or still is Huma Adin. That was Wiener's wife. And
where happened to Wiener? What happened?
I think he finally got out of jail. He only went to jail for a couple of years for sex in that 16-year-old. And the bad part is, if he'd asked the girl and she would have said she was like 20 or 30, he probably wouldn't have went to jail, but he knew she was like 15. So, No, he was set up, guys. What are you talking about? No. They had him and the wife had been having problems for a while. She'd been hanging out with Hillary all the time, with Cheryl Mills, Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton were all just best buddies. And then all of a sudden, there's way weirder stuff than that. They were in Saudi Arabia, and Huma left a laptop with top secret material on it in the car, open with no code on it, and just left it there. Anybody could walk up and click it and look through it. It didn't get any trouble for it. That's Sean and I, we'd still be in jail 10 years later. Anyway,
100%.
So wait, who's winning? Who's winning this? Oh, you can't tell us that. Never mind. You can't tell us who wins. Well, you can't tell us who wins. You got to read and find out, people. That's part of the book. Yeah, you got to read and find out. You mean in a real war?
It depends on the story. It depends on the story, too.
It does. Yeah. Well, no, guys, because I mean, if America decided to go to real war, no, China don't have a chance, but it's not by themselves. With Russia's help, though, they stand a chance. But that's only if our allies don't get involved. Well, it's weird the way the world works. America and its allies control 90 trillion of the 160 trillion economy. So they really do control the world. That's what controls it. You can do whatever you want with the militaries, but right now that's what controls it. And in an all-out war, you have Europe over there you have to deal with before you even have to worry about America. And Europe ain't as little as people think it was military, and NATO's there as well. It's I would prefer to see everybody get along and have a nice, peaceful planet. China, if China would become a democracy, they would be the first world country in no time at all. We'd be chasing them all the time, but places it would be everybody be at peace. I mean, think about it. For a while there, we had the planet was the most peaceful it had ever been in its history, and then we just can't keep it that way because somebody got to go blow something up. Well, I like to blow shit up too, but not when it's people in it. People, come on. What do you mean? I don't know. Sean will have to write about Lizinski after all this plays out. It's still got a little ways to play out yet. Yeah, I did hear about his 2 yachts too, by the way. So say thank you, America.
Zelensky?
Yeah, he got 2 yachts recently.
Yeah, that tracks.
Say thank you, America. Y'all bought him 2 yachts. Oh no, he's still using most of the money for the military, but you still did buy him 2 yachts. Probably bought him a girlfriend in America too. I don't make the rules, guys. So Sean's out there writing about these red coats. That's what you said, red coats, man. I didn't say that. You said that. You mean you're talking about the Brits, man? Is that what you're talking about? The Brits are going to invade them.
Red China is probably talking about.
Yes, it's well, I was just recently offered to go lecture in China for 2 years.
For 2 years?
For 2 years, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, because they did this tour. It starts and ends in Beijing. So you spend it's basically you spend a week to 2 weeks, depending on the side of the city, and you do 2 lectures a week. And then every 4 weeks, they give you off 2 weeks to go visit. They'll even give you a tour guide at your disposal so you don't get yourself in trouble. And it's a $250,000 a year each year. It's but being the geopolitical environment we're in, it might not be safe for an American to spend that much time. I told him, I said, I'd be happy with a year. I said, but 2, I'm like, because I don't trust the current political environment anywhere right now. And once if Trump gets back in, things are going to change fast because Trump's not scared of Xi Jinping and he's not scared of Putin and he's not. You see when he told Kim Jong-un, you better calm down or you're going to die. And Kim Jong-un didn't come out for 3 years. His sister attended everything. I mean, and then
what do you call him? Little Rocket Man or something?
Oh yeah, that's what he called him, Little Rocket Man. Then he's having dinner with Xi. They're at the White House having dinner, a nice dinner. And while they're having dinner, Trump pops up a nuclear sub next to, I think it was Syria, launches 90 cruise missiles, just lays waste to everything. And then say, hey, Mr. Xi, you enjoying the dinner. It was just to prove a point to him that, look, at any time you could die. And then 9 months later, she was saying something. And then for the third, we've done this 4 times to China, actually. Trump ordered 3 nuclear ballistic subs to just pop up in different locations around the world next to China. China never knew they were there. They didn't even know they were there when they were sitting. 2 of them were within 75 miles of China's coast. They never knew they were there until America released it. China was gone basically. They were wiped out off the planet. Those subs carry enough nuclear with multiple warheads to easily lay waste to China. So, and then it was worse than that. 7 months after that, we rolled up an Agus cruiser next to their aircraft carrier and parked alongside it. And they didn't know it was us. They thought it was one of their own. I almost fell out my chair laughing. I said, I can just see the president of China right now going, someone's going to die over this. You know that, right? Someone's going to die. You just embarrassed us beyond belief. That's as bad as the F-22 parking underneath the Iranian F-4 Phantom going, I think it's time for you to go home. I've been here for 15 minutes. You ain't even known I was here. Maybe you should go home. And you got another pilot off a distance filming the whole thing. It's people. You got to remember something about America. We've been at war basically for the last 50 years. We just take a little break just now, but most of our equipment is tried and true. It's been tested in the battle, and most of our people have been tested in battle. It's not a country you want to go to war with. And we don't like to lose. That's the other part. And we really don't like to lose. So I would just say, like what the it was Hirohito, whatever his name was, the admiral who spoke to the jet and said, "I fear poking the dragon. I fear waking the dragon," is what he said. And then when, of course, he woke us up and we went apeshit and started blowing stuff up around the planet. Because America doesn't like to lose. And when you should learn this, United States people. You see what happened in 9/11. Before 9/11, we were on the verge of a little mini split because the country was so politically divided. It was it was just disgusting. 7 little buildings fall down, and we spend the next 20 years blowing the shit out of stuff. 10 of those we were completely united as a country. We are so dangerous when we are united as a country. It's just scary. When both sides get together, you need to just go hide somewhere in a hole and hope we don't find you, or drop a Hades bomb on you or something. It's just one of those things, people. Well, no, Sean's writing about this stuff. See, I like that he had Taiwan in there right off the bat. See, I'm gonna have to find out what he's talking about with Taiwan. Because Taiwan's a sore spot. Oh, that's what your next one should be about. You should say it, Lansing the boil of the Middle East. There you go. Because honestly, I really think that the Middle East should be Lance. It's been a sore spot on the ass of the world for 6,000 years, man. Really, it's time to get rid of it. I say nuke the whole place. It'll turn into big green glass for 50,000 miles in each direction. By the way, green glass is a solar glass, guys. It's highly conductive, way better than regular glass. So you'd have free power for the next 10,000 years. Well, you don't have to kill anybody. Just tell them to leave. Say, look, leave or die. There's no option here. We're going to lay waste to your land. Go somewhere else or get melted. We don't really care either way.
Yeah, then they go to Europe. That's
right. That's like they did last time and caused all kind of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
See, that would be a good one too, writing about the invaders, as my friend likes to call them, all the immigrants. And I wish somebody would get a real number. I hear 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. Now we got people coming in from Canada. No, not Canadians. Canadians don't want to live here, man. Don't fool yourself. I mean, they want to get rid of Trudeau, but they don't want to live here. They might go live with Sean. He's out there in Cali. Well, Sean's hoping y'all California people keep moving and it gets nice and clean. You can breathe the air again and it's pretty. Actually, where you live close to? Where do you live? I mean, you close to the coast or inland? Earthquake?
Yeah. I live in east. I live in Contra Costa County, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area, East Bay.
San Francisco's beautiful, but whacked out of their mind, but beautiful.
It was beautiful. At least the city, it was beautiful. Now they have maps that show, like they have maps that show where all the feces is.
I know we done shows in that. Had they put up I had heard them talking about putting up these porta bathrooms where you could just, they were going to put them on the street and they were going to assign somebody to watch them. They were going to pay them $78,000 a year to watch to make sure that people didn't stay in the bathroom more than 15 minutes. I was like,
And what are they going to do when they stay in there for more than 15 minutes?
I guess
Nothing.
knock on the door and say, "Can you get out?" I don't know what they're going to do. It was the dumbest thing I ever heard. But last time I had seen it was on. They did a big TV show about what San Francisco was going to do to change. I do notice though, like with everything else, when the rich start getting affected, things start to change. I know when they got up at Nancy Pelosi's house, everybody got a little weirded about it. But it's like when Ron DeSantis and Governor Abbott from Texas decided to start sending immigrants to New York and Chicago. All of a sudden, they started screaming, "We got to do something about this immigrant problem!" And it was so funny because Adams the other day, the mayor of New York, is going on about 2,500. He needs a National Guard because they got 2,500 to 3,500 immigrants. Governor Abbott says we have 250,000, probably another 2 million that we don't even know are in the state. And yet we're not asking for the National Guard. What is wrong with you people? And in Chicago, I mean, it cost what's her name, Lily Lightfoot, her job because she couldn't do anything about it. Of course, that racist chick needed to go anyway, but we could write a book about her. What not to do as a mayor? How to get fired? No, what not to do?
Yeah, she looked like Beetlejuice, right?
She did. She was freaky. And no, she was the one. Jimmy, she's the one who said that she would only be interviewed by black women. It wasn't just black people; it was just black women. Yes, I think she was a lesbian. Actually, I don't know 100%. You'd have to go look for yourself. You want to do the army? You're such an idiot. Nobody's writing a book about lesbians first the world. What the hell, man? I'm sorry, guys. That just caught me off guard when I seen that dumb stuff. Oh Lord. Y'all have not had your breakfast or dinner or something today. It's no, he just told you he was married, Elizabeth. Yes. I bet his wife would kick your butt and you start messing with him. Mm-hmm. He looks like you better straighten up, boy. Why you wonder how many kids he's got? He might have 10. He might be Elon Musk in disguise, as far as you know. I wish somebody would write a book on Elon, but it's going to be a hard thing to do. And he's a mean old bastard. So don't get me wrong. I like Elon, but I mean, come on. He told his advertisers to what the other day? I can't use that language on his show. Yeah, he used the F word on 4 occasions. And the head of Apple was sitting in the audience, and he told him to go himself. Oh man, I was like, he's got.
Oh no, it's Disney.
Oh, it was Disney. That's Disney right. Yeah, it was Disney. That's right.
To go F himself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Disney. Oh man.
Bob Iger. Yep.
Bob Iger. Yep. And it's funny. They brought Bob Iger in to get rid of the crazy chick they had before because one son was a trans and the other son. Anyway, she was trying to replace all the people at Disney World with gay people, trans people and stuff. And of course, I guess the regular attendees were like, "What are you doing? No, it's not what we want to see for our kids. What the hell's going on here?" And then they brought Bob Iger in because after that, everybody quit messing with Disney. They started tanking. And he's trying, but Disney has to let go of the political correctness if they want to survive as a company, like the NFL learned with I ain't gonna call him scumbag. Kaepernick was just the man made a lot of money over that. I mean, come on, how much money did Nike give him? But it cost. That's the funny part. Nike gave him a bunch of money, and Nike lost quite a bit of money because of him. Yeah, Nike. And then I love these companies. They're like, "Oh no, he did well for us." Yeah, but yeah, when you see the stats come out, you're like, "Oh, well, not so well, did he?" No, I don't know what he thought. And I'm gonna tell you, like I told everybody else, I didn't care what you do, what kind of advocacy you get in. Even if you're an NFL player, if you want to go out and protest and do that, do it. Don't do it on the field. I'm not paying money to watch it. If I wanted to watch politics, I would go turn on NBC or ABC or CBS or Fox or One World News or somebody or my own self. But I don't want to see that. That's for me to relax. Football is relaxing to me. Matter of fact, any of these. I mean, come on. Even Doctor Who was getting a little stupidly with their kind of politically correct. What do you mean the new Doctor? David Tennant's the new Doctor. Yes, he is. He came back as the 14th time, only for 3 episodes. Yes, there's a black gentleman. I can't remember his name, but he's coming in afterwards. When I originally seen him, I looked him up. He looked like a pretty solid actor. As far as Wade goes, you mean the young lady who She wasn't the problem. The writers were the problem. They just wrote poor stuff for her. Because when she did get a good episode, when she wrote a good episode, she did a good job. But they started off at Rosa Parks. That was just such a bad. And wait, how many times did they go America? Americans don't want to see Doctor Who in America. We really don't. We don't really care. You're Brit. We want to see you over there causing trouble. Stay out of our country. It's just a thing, people. I'm not explaining. No, we're going to bring Sean on Wednesday because we're going to talk about aliens. Maybe we can write an alien book. What do you mean? Who's the most famous writer of writers of the future? I don't know. You got Scott, who did Ender's Game. What's his name? Who did Dune? There's quite a few other big books. Tim Powers, who is Caribbean. There's some big movies in there. So I don't know. I mean, think about Dune. Dune's a classic. It's been remade 3-4 times now. And the guy who is rewriting Dune is actually and the author or what's his son Frank Herbert is that? I'm getting them confused.
Yeah, anyway. Frank Herbert is Dune.
Yeah. And his son's actually involved too. No, and there's actually bigger than ones in that. And then some of the artists there are really big. They make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's why you should be nice to them. Yes, give me your money, baby. donate to the cause. Sean said donate to the cause. I'm with Sean. Donate to the damn cause. No, there's a lot of fun people, and then you have like Tim McCaffrey, whose mom was pretty famous in her own right.
Yeah, Anne McCaffrey. Yeah,
Anne McCaffrey was pretty famous in her own right, and some other people, other judges who were associated with her, who wrote with her, like Joni Lanai and a few other people besides that. So, I mean, there's a lot of famous people, and then of course there's Wesley Dean Smith, who has more books than God. No, he's just like, he reminds me of somebody else I know, Nick Redfern, who writes like 9 to 5, just writes. Yeah, he's got a lot of books, and he owns his own publishing company. He does the whole thing. He does the whole thing from start to finish. When he writes a book, he handles the whole part of the book. And yes, and when Sean gets stinking filthy rich, he can do that. But why do that? Hire some people and do that. No, don't give away your profit. This question came in a little while ago and I forgot. And Daryl Lynn wrote this, and she wanted to know, because she's trying to get, she's going to end up self-publishing, she says, but she's trying to get a publisher. And she's had some people say that they would think about it, but they only want to give her, what was it? 5 cents on the dollar. And she wanted to know if that was normal, or if that was low, or
it depends on whether, like, if it's an advance or if it's royalties or whatever. It depends on what the structure of the agreement is. If it's a short story, if it's like 5,000 word short story or something like that, I think right now professional rates are at about 8 cents a word. So 8 cents a word is what you should be aiming for a short story, not for a book. Anything less, 5 cents is okay, but it's semi-pro rate.
So you got that? Well, no, he knows. I don't know. I am writing a book. I'm at 67,000 words at the moment. That is day 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 4.5 days into this thing. This is an 11-day adventure I'm writing about. When it's all done, it's going to be 150, 160,000 words easy. Then I'm going to take some candy and put it in a box and send it to a friend of mine at Writers of the Future named Emily to have her look at it and read it. She'll cuss me. Actually, Clara, to answer your question earlier, when you asked me who was my favorite friend at Writers of the Future, that would be John Goodwin. Oh, what are you talking? Oh, girl-wise, I don't have no favorite friends that are girls because I like them all equally. No, Emily's a good friend, and I like Emily. I also like Jody, though. Joni, I'm sorry, not Jody. Joni is a beast. Yes, she is. She's the beast woman, and I mean that in a good way, not in a bad way. But then Sarah's also a beast. She's one of the best salespeople I've ever seen. Yeah. There's a lot of good people over there. Chelsea's really good. They all have their specialty, and they're all good at it. That's why I like them. They're all good at it. They're very professional. Frankly, I'm going to be honest with you. How they do put up with some of the shit they do is beyond me, because I'd be like, excuse me, what did you just say? Did I just not fly you from the other side of the freaking world? Leave me alone for a little while. No, really. It's why I can't. It's one of the reasons I don't teach. I've been asked a couple times when I teach things. I'm like, nope. I'm not that patient, people. That's why I do radio, because I can get fussy if I want to. Yeah, you know what? We might have to give Sean a show, put his ass on the air. Maybe we should let him host this one. Yeah. Actually, this show is weird. Actually, this show is going to be John Goodman's going to be hosting it sometimes. Jeffrey Pritchard's going to host it. It's going to be set up for that. There's 8 or 10 people, and it's just going to rotate. And then Carmen's going to be doing some booking, and of course, if the hosts want to book it themselves, they can. But it's just we're doing this just to give authors and illustrators a place that they can debut stuff or talk about stuff or air a problem like AI. We've been talking a little bit about AI because AI seems to be a problem. Look, guys, I've tried the AI in a couple of things for stories now. Jeffrey Weiner is way better at it than I am because he's also an author and an illustrator. But if you noticed the new UFO undercover banner, he made that for me on AI in 33 seconds. Yes, I would have had to pay somebody if I didn't do it myself a good chunk of money, probably $2-3 to have him do it. He did it on AI in 33 seconds. That's a problem because it costs nothing for anybody. But I don't own it because you can't own AI. It's not copyrightable. I mean, I could argue that I'm the one that developed it and used it, but still, it's not really. And neither are the books. Now I watched him do a comic book. So he described the artwork, and he told him what the story was about. And this thing went in and wrote a nice, about a 40, almost a 50 page story in a comic with all the little balloons and all the little artwork. And I got to say, it was, if I rated it on 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.5, maybe a 7. I would say that maybe an advanced amateur had wrote it. But I noticed the more you push this AI, the more mistakes it starts to make. So what do you think? I mean, what do you think, Sean? Are you going to start paying AI 25 cents a word and put your ass out of business?
No. I mean, that's the other thing about AI is it's good that it's not copyrightable. Otherwise, over time, it's going to put people out of business, and you're not going to have any natural human stories anymore.
Yeah,
you might be able to have people entertain themselves by asking AI to produce a story about themselves in a movie or something like that. But I think we have to navigate this pretty carefully because pretty soon, I mean, you followed this whole Sam Altman thing, right?
Yeah.
Where if they start replacing lower level and mid level white collar jobs, you're going to have hundreds of millions of people who are suddenly unemployed, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. So
yeah, I was talking with Wade from he works for there's a big company came down here a few years back, a gaming company actually, and they decided they came in and they started offering they were going to hire illustrators and authors 110,000 years to start unless you had a lot of experience, but that's the start, and they were looking for tons of them. And now I heard him the other day, his partner, whoever was speaking, he said, well, look, he said, we're going to do some cheating. He said, we're not going to lie. We're going to use AI for this and AI for that, but we're not letting anybody go. He said, because myself and my boss and our staff decided that AI needs to be supervised because it makes mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the guy asked about he had him to make a dingo and a dog fighting a dingo and a kangaroo fight. The kangaroo ended up with 5 legs and 3 arms and an eye in the middle of its head. Okay, that's not a kangaroo that I've seen before.
Well,
man.
You've seen the recent photos from the Israeli-Gaza conflict. You saw a picture of this poor child, right? It had 6 fingers, right? So it's clearly obvious AI stuff. There's also a case of a lawyer who used AI to research precedent case law, and AI just made up a case. So he went to court citing a case that didn't exist. And I don't know if the guy got disbarred, but
I'm
he
sure he
probably
got a lot of
deserves to
trouble.
be
Yeah,
disbarred.
because you can't. Right now, AI can't be reliant. Well, people. So first thing. Oh, well, hello there, news on the flip side. First thing Google decides to do is ask AI, how do you save the world? And what does AI say? What was their exact answer? Kill all the humans. I'm not kidding y'all. That's what it said. Kill all the humans. And the reason why is if you want to save the earth, you got to get rid of us. So the question should have been, it's how do you save mankind and the world? How do you save the world? You got to watch what you ask AI. Remember, it's not human. It doesn't think like we do. So you got to be very pointed in the way you ask a question. Another instance, so they use AI for these drones. Well, they've been sending out drones they've been doing missions, simulated missions where they send out the AI. It has a controller or a handler, they call it, and it sends out the drone and it does its thing. Well, on 3 occasions, the drone came back, killed the handler because the handler would not let the drone carry out its job the way it needed to. So then it completed its job after it killed the handler. That's not what we want, people. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of messed up stuff going on here that we got. And now we're going to start attaching these to F-35s and F-22. So the Navy, in its infinite wisdom, decided to build jets. I mean, we're talking jets. They're almost the size of our regular jets. These are like F-35s with no cockpits, is basically what they are. And they can be flown. So they fly in tandem with the pilot. So the pilot has some control, but most of it is AI. And he can actually order those jets to go after whatever targets he tells it while he's engaged in another target. Do you understand what that means for a foreign air force? I mean, one pilot with his little drone setup can probably take on 2 flights of jets, especially since F-35 can kill you before you see it. It's yes, y'all didn't know that, did you? Yeah, right now our planes can kill you before you see it. And I'm talking about kill you before you even see it with radar. By the time you know it's there, you're dead. They're beastie aircraft, and we got a 6th gen coming out we got a 6th gen aircraft coming out that can go into space. So our new fighters, which look kind of badass, the images I've seen them, can actually leave the atmosphere and come back in the atmosphere. So just to put this in perspective, they come out the atmosphere, they just cruise along the top of the atmosphere, just say 30, 40, 100 miles, 500, and then they drop in. So when they drop in, they're doing Mach 20, Mach 30. There's no way you're going to shoot them down. Matter of fact, in order for them to they can't even use missiles because the missile would just hit the jet because it's going so fast. They can only use a dropped payload, and they have to be back on a swooped angle coming up. There's no way to shoot these things down. They're moving too fast. And then, of course, they can slow themselves back down to regular speed, or they can shoot themselves back into space, and you can't even catch them because no pilots can go into space but these. Nobody else on the planet has that kind of technology. It's like watching Elon Musk with 230 successful landings, and he's reusing the same ones. Yet, if you take China, Russia, the United States, India, Britain, and I forgot what other space France, none of them have done this even successfully one time. China just said, Xi Jinping just said the other day, they're looking at a decade to be where Elon Musk is right now. And he's already past where he was when Xi said this. He's catching, he lands them, but it's better than that. He catches them now. You know, the spaceship he's sending to Mars, it doesn't land, he catches it. I'm like, look at this bastard. Guys. And Microsoft said, thanks to Elon, your next phone won't be a phone. It'll be an implant in your head. I was like, nope.
Yep, nope. That's when it stops.
You're not implanting shit in my head. Sorry. Look, I remember when they offered us the chip. If you want to get chip. Now, today, a lot of people, my dogs are chipped, so I can't say anything, but they offer to chip your kid at birth now. And then they give the child, I think it's at 21 or 18 or 21, they give the child the option to have the chip taken out. But their doctors are saying because some of the places will be putting them, it might be impossible to take them out. The bone might grow over, something might grow over. It would do damage to take them out. So basically, they're just wanting to chip everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people don't know you. Look, so I want you to understand this. You already know you're chipped. Anytime you have this with you, they know where you are. Or better than that, if you have a chip credit card, they know where you are. So they have multiple ways to find this now. I used to get all upset and turn everything off on my phone, but I realized that this shit. My car's got GPS in it. The house got GPS. Yes. I'm going to change my name to Sean Hazlett. That way, when they'll be like, well, he kind of looks like him. We got to be careful, guys. I mean, they just caught Joe Biden and AT&T spying on like a third of the country. Yeah, the White House got busted for doing what? Listening to people's phone calls, reading their text messages. That's you can't do that without a warrant. No, you can't, people. That's private. Besides, half of the country's sexting. First off, half of these texts, do you really want to have to read them? I mean, really. I mean, some of the stuff that you know is being texted in there, and I'm not even talking about sexing. I'm just talking about just stupid stuff that's getting typed in there. No.
The NSA's been collecting all this stuff for almost a decade.
Yeah, and
there's a guy named Tom Drake who was a whistleblower, and they tried to throw the book at him because there were two programs. There was one that didn't necessarily collect everything, and then there was one that collected everything. Mm-hmm. And the one that collected everything went out. They're still doing it.
Well, Snowden told everybody when he ran off to Russia, he said, "Guys, this is not going away." And one of my friends in the government told me, well, I had learned about Echelon early on, but Magic Lantern is just a program. All this thing does is it listens to everything. It reads text, it listens to voice, but it doesn't do anything with it unless it hears a specific sentence or specific words. Then a flag goes up. But even on the first time the flag goes up, it usually doesn't report it. But if you do this 2 or 3 times, it's reported to either Homeland or the FBI. And don't think you won't hear at your door. And then you're wondering how in the hell how did they know what you were saying?
Look, I have a YouTube channel, and you can actually see when it happens in the data. Because they'll mention keywords, and you'll see like this big spike in a place. Like there are times when I've interviewed somebody. The name is Through a Glass Darkly with Sean, if you want to look it up. But I interviewed a guy who used to work for MI6 and MI5, and he was like he's a precog essentially. He would have precognitive dreams about terrorist attacks, and he would go to Scotland Yard and tell them about it, and then they would be aware. So he saw the Lockerbie bombing, etc. But in one of my interviews, we were just talking about what the capabilities of their intelligence services were. And I'm not going to say it on air because you're going to get the same spike. But he just said in like in one sentence, one capability that they had. And I missed it. I completely missed it. It was so fast. But the data didn't miss it. Mm-hmm. You can see when people fall off, what percentage of the audience is on a particular discussion. And they'll fall off to like 30% by the end of the
we've had some weird stuff happen. I had Alfred Weber on one night. Alfred Weber was Jimmy Carter's science advisor, one of his science advisors. And he asked me a question when he said, well, Joe, he said, you run the largest UFO alien abduction organization in the world. He said, what about alien agendas? And I'm like, man, I really don't want to talk about that. And he's like, yeah, let's talk about it. So we started talking about it. With 15 minutes into it, we both got kicked. 15 minutes again, we both got kicked again. Then we found out that they weren't just kicking us. We had 1.2 million listeners. They were kicking everybody. Everybody was getting dropped. And then people would come back. Of course, every time they came back, the audience got smaller and smaller and smaller. So then I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, well, look, we're just going to leave it go. So about 6 months passes. I'm at work, in a contracting company. So I had a bunch of people. I had about 25 guys on a roof redoing a roof one day. And I'm sitting up there, doing the roof, and I see this white SUV pull up with really dark tinted windows, look way darker than what's legal around here. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Some drug dealer? And I see this guy get out. He's in a gray, what looks like an Armani suit. I'm like, shit, who the hell is this? He unbuttons his thing, and he lifts his finger up so he pulls his coat back over his 45 automatic so I could see it. And I said, okay. I looked at the guys. I said, who pissed the feds off? I said, he's a Fed. He's looking for somebody. So I'm pointing at guys, right? Who do you want? And one of my friends pointed at me and the guys. And I'm like, I ain't done nothing to piss the Feds off. So I go down the ladder, and my whole crew's wanting to come down with me. I'm like, y'all stay up here. No, we're coming down with you. These guys ain't going to mess with you. We'll toss them in a car and toss them in the canal. I'm like, no, guys, let me deal with this. I walk over there, and he calls me, but he talks to me by name. He said, well, Mr. Montaldo, he said, we first off want to tell you that we appreciate what you do, and we appreciate the amount of research you're putting out, and we appreciate how it's helping our researchers to do what they need to. He said, but we do not need you talking about alien agendas. And I looked up at him, and I said, why not? So then he decides to tell me, well, we just noticed that your wife was at such and such doctor's office and told me what she was wearing, told me what my son was, told me who was in my house. And he said, you do a lot of driving. You could have an accident. Somebody could just run you off the road one day, and that's the end of that. And so he did, it was one of those threats like, and I've been threatened before, but threatening my family is different. And I was like, okay. I said, well, look. He said, no, I'm telling you. He said, because they would break in on the phone line sometimes on Wake Up USA, the first show I ever hosted. They would actually come in. They wouldn't call in. They weren't in part of the system. They would actually come in the phone line and ask questions. My producer would freak out every time he was, I forgot, it was at a Riverside, Iowa. It was an AM station out of Riverside, Iowa. 1690 Riverside, Iowa is what we were on. And they would just come into the system and start asking questions. They were, well, see, it was weird because you'd hear people in the background. They're like, well, look, we stumped on this. We've been working on this for years. He said, I heard y'all were talking about it. And they'd just start asking serious questions. And then they were gone. And they would be back and gone. And then it made the show really popular, by the way, because people were like, the feds in the damn show. But it scared me sometimes, man. I mean, because it was freaky. And on a couple of occasions, we were being followed around. We were harassed a few times. And then one night I got really pissed off about something. And I said, well, look, if you're going to just knock me off, knock me off. I said, you want to know this more than I am. I said, the only reason you're following us is to try to find out what we know. I said, don't, how did I say? I said, don't be a coward. Pick up the phone and call me and ask me. I was honest. I said, I'll tell you anything you want except for people's names. Because,
yeah, but they can't let you know that they're interested. That's the
thing. And there's a few times they threatened us a couple times out. And then one night, we're cruising along in the middle of nowhere and deep in the swamp. There's nobody out there. It's 2:30 when it shouldn't be anybody out there. We're cruising. About 85. I look up and there's a car catching up with me. I said, I got to slow down. It must be a cop because there ain't nobody else going to cruise up that fast. So I start slowing down and this white SUV's behind us. I'm like, I don't like the way this looks. And we're talking while we're driving. I said, well, if it's one of the kind of guys they can hear us. I said, so I whispered over to Linda and told her what I was going to do. So I cut the wheel like I was going to cut down the street going to the casino. And as I did, I cut back real fast and they couldn't catch it. They had to cut or they were going to lose control of their vehicle. So they went down. By the time they got back out, I was gone. I was disappeared. They weren't going to find me. So we pull up at the casino, right? We're third floor casino, our favorite park spot. We get out and look down and he's, After that, I didn't even run from.
You got that cell phone, and you got GPS in the car, and you got also your credit card. Yeah.
It was just there was no. It was just you'd have to. And there are times we go where we call going dark, but even then, once they know because they're watching you, they just tag and go along. You never know what's on your car because my Sentra I had was old school; it didn't have anything on it. And we were out there, a lawyer friend of mine, who used to host these meetings at his office. He had all this soundproof stuff in his office with these machines he plugged into the walls that made noises so people couldn't hear. So one day he gets outside with his wand, starts scanning my car. This thing's woo, woo. He said, whoa, man, you bugged in at least 2 places. He pulls out these little things about yay big.
You probably have like 2 or 3 different agencies that don't even know about each other doing the same thing.
I was like, and then it's weird because I took off about a year from not from research, but from the shows. I took off a year, but I still was doing research. As soon as I got back on the radio and started talking about it again, shit starts popping up. Things start saying people parking out in front of the house. I'm like, and I tell them, look, what pisses them off though is the way iCar's data is set up. It's not on the internet. You can't get it. You can't hack it. You'd have to come into the house physically. And even if you could, there's actually, and believe you not, this is on a 5-inch floppy disk. In case y'all don't know these people, way back in the old days, the floppy disks were 5 inches and they were like this, square. We actually customize one for each person who has one of these computers, and each one has a specific disk. That's the only way they can be operated. And since the technology is not even available anymore, it's going to be hard to copy it. It works though. It works. Thelma's saying you should do a. What are you doing? Where you at? You looking where? You're on Amazon looking for him? Yeah, just type in his name. I would imagine.
Yeah. Sean Hazlett or Sean Patrick Hazlett.
Because she was just listening to. She said she wants to go read the last one you wrote about Russia because she wants to. What do you want to talk him into? That's conspiracies. Oh, okay. No. She wants you to get into like. The spy world, I guess, is what she's trying to say. Intrigue and I don't know. Messing with spies is risky business, girl. I already caught hell for talking about that Koresh guy. I got all kind of nasty remarks and letters wrote to me because I busted him out as being a government plant. Actually, I busted him as being a Stephen Greer plant. Look, we ain't going to talk about this long because we have Sean with us, but people, 72, you done captured 72 aliens. How many damn spaceships, every time they cross the portal, the spaceship falls out of the sky and we captured? Really, how dumb do you think these aliens are? I mean, they've been coming here for at least 10,000 years. Every time they come here, every other time they come, they lose a ship. I would think they would have stopped coming or they would have retrieved their ship. Oh, wait. And then we shoot them down. I'm telling you now, if we're ever stupid enough to shoot an alien craft, we're going to regret it. Remember, these are the same ones that shut down all of our nuclear silos in 6 different places in 2 different countries in less than 5 minutes, and you want to go piss them off. I'm not thinking. And what got me about this, because the Koresh guy's going on and on about all this, and the pilots are all sitting next to him looking at him like, this guy is full of shit, man. So when they start talking to the pilots, they're going, well, could you shoot? He said, no, we don't have nothing fast enough, no missiles, no bullets, nothing. He said a hypersonic missile couldn't catch these guys. So I sent him just to help to prove the point. I sent him a video of STS-48. Okay, STS-48 is a shuttle mission, ladies and gentlemen. So in this shuttle mission, you see this. What looks NASA said it was a piece of ice, and it was floating like this, minding its business. And the shuttle's moving this way, the ice is moving this way. So I don't know how it came off the shuttle because the shuttle was going the opposite direction than ice. But we ain't going to argue about it. So it's moving along. So it's just cruising along. It's moving. And all of a sudden, you look and there's a beam of light comes up from, and I'm serious because there's no doubt what it is. It's a serious beam of light, and it's going straight for whatever this little thing is, and it's moving along. And all of a sudden, this thing just turns and darts away. And I mean, it darts away at serious speed. So NASA tried to say, "Oh, we jetted. We had they fired one of the retros, and that's what caused it to do." So, in case y'all never watched shuttle missions, when they fire a retro, there's a flash. So you can see it when it fires. And there was no flash in this, so they didn't fire a retro. Plus, as it got further out, it changed course 2 more times. And they were too far from the shuttle. There's no doubt what it was. And it was some kind of craft. And it looked like it came from the Hart facility down in, no, not the Pine Gap facility in Australia. It looks like where the shot came from. Well, Reagan decided he wanted to build weapons that could shoot down big spacecraft. And apparently they did. Apparently they're just not fast enough to get the damn spacecraft. I don't know, but it's where there's several. By the way, there's several shuttle missions that are worth watching. And if you get really bored, there's several of the Apollo, Mercury, and Geminis you'd like to listen to. There's one of the very first missions you hear this guy saying, they had to bleep it because every other word was a curse word. Something came up and pulled alongside his little craft and was just cruising along with him. He was talking about it. It got out in the air a couple of times. And then NASA, then they started disguising things, calling them Santa Claus or reindeers or stuff like that. That was keywords. And then later, after something happened with one of the shuttle missions, NASA went to a 7-second delay. So if there was a problem, they could change it. Yeah, because there was a couple of things seen that you couldn't explain, and even though Congress is looking for aliens, NASA still isn't, which confuses me. What is NASA's job? To find aliens.
They already found them, Joe.
That's what we built it for. I'm like, Jesus, people, come on. Oh no, I've wrote many things about that. I think Sean would make a good conspiracist book like that. Well, I hate using the word conspiracy because it's not really what it is. Intrigue. If you can write about war, go ahead.
I just finished writing one. I mean, I have to polish it a little bit. It'll be done by the end of the year. But I just wrote a book called Wormwood Down, and it's about a unit that does UFO crash retrievals.
Oh, that could be good. I like that. And we'll be talking about that next week for sure.
And well, the publisher's got to buy it, but once it's done. But what the premise is one of these craft crashes on the Russian-Chinese or deep in the Russian Far East. And this team goes in to recover it, U.S. team. And then, of course, the Chinese invade Russia, invade Siberia, essentially, to get to the craft, too. And then this team has to recover it and fight their way out of Russia. So that's the book.
That'd be a good one, too. That'd be good. Nice intrigue in there.
Oh, there's tons of intrigue in there.
What do you mean, Harold? No, there's no... Let me ask, so Harold, you remember when our stupid spy plane got knocked out of the sky by the Chinese?
Yeah, in 2001.
Yeah.
Right?
So you remember what we told the Chinese? either give us our plane back or we're going to come get it and our pilots. Now, they did give us our plane back in a box, basically, but
right after they took it apart. Right.
yeah, if they took it apart, but it didn't matter because all the crucial stuff had been killed. Well, we have all of America's top secret stuff has a charge built into it. You pull this thing out, you put the key, you turn it, and it kills the equipment. It just melts it inside of it, basically. And for about 30 years, we've been having that. I've actually seen it on fighter jets. Certain stuff that they're using, they don't want you to know about. That's how they get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't want people getting our technology. It's bad enough half of it's leak. I mean, come on, Russia's shuttle looks so much like ours. I was wondering if we just sold them one. And look at Chinese fighter jets. They look like ours. They look like our older jets. Russia and China's top of the line jets look more like our F-18s do, and F-14s, F-15s. They look more like that. Well, the 35, the Sikorsky 35, or I forgot how you say it, but it's a badass jet.
Sukhoi.
Yeah, so it's bad. Russia's got a bad jet there, but they don't have the pilots like we got. And China said something which cracked me up because Russia said they're going to get away with all the aircraft carriers. They don't need them anymore. They're obsolete. And China started laughing, and one of their admirals said, "Yeah, they're obsolete if you think so." He said, "But just the pilots alone learning how to fly off a carrier makes them 5 times better a pilot than anybody else." He said, "So I don't know how they can be obsolete." China's actually has paid America some homage lately in ways I thought was interesting, but Uncle Cracker doesn't know what to do with it. And that's another thing. Come on, this guy, this should have been in your book, man. This should have happened before you wrote your book. Uncle Cracker has a big meeting with China, with Xi Jinping, having a big meeting with him. We love you now, Xi. We're going to be friends. And gets up at the meeting and calls him a fucking dictator. And then the next day calls him a dictator again. I'm like, well, whatever meeting that was is blown to crap. Well, he is a dictator, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying he's not, but I mean, when the man flies across the planet to try to ease the tensions between the two most powerful places on the planet, you don't go around calling him a dictator unless it's in private.
Well, Gavin Newsom did clean San Francisco up for
yeah,
Xi,
I heard that.
Right?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. I heard he cleaned it all up nice and pretty. He didn't want Xi to see how nasty it was, which tells you right there that they're completely functionally aware of what's going on, but they don't care unless it's somebody important.
That's right.
I don't know, people. Look, I haven't been to San Francisco in 20 years, but last time I was there, the place was beautiful.
20 years ago,
people were friendly. Food was good. There was lots of entertainment, lots of things to do. What is that, Ronnie? No, I've driven Highway Run from right below San Diego up to, Jesus, way the hell up the coast. Way the hell up the coast. I'm talking hours up the coast. Yeah. Well, I think it runs almost the whole length of the state. Maybe not the whole length. It runs good 2/3 of the state. It just runs along the coast, meanders along through the mountain, down the thing, runs all over the damn place. Just like we have ones that run along the beaches down here, Highway 90. That's the same thing. They run across 5 states actually, but they just run along the coastal areas and through the sides of the cities. Yeah, that's what they're for. Yeah. Who? No, he just was telling you about the alien one just now, the one with the UFO. So Xi Jinping is an alien. I don't. That's a question for the news show. But as far as if she would actually invade Taiwan, it would really depend on a couple of things. One, the first most important thing it would depend on is who is president of this country. No, he wouldn't do it if Donald Trump was president, because Donald Trump would go over there and start a war. Because we've already pledged ourselves to defend Taiwan. We already have. The last 7 presidents have, but or last 6 presidents have. But the problem is, I don't know if Uncle Cracker would do it for real or not. He's Uncle Cracker. This guy, y'all don't even realize how racist this guy was when he was young. Oh yeah, man, he voted for all kinds. He was Jim Crow. He voted for it. He voted for a lot of things as anti-black, but people forget. It's one of them things. One of the nice things about the world is right now you can still find a lot of things. I mean, they try to scrub the internet every once in a while, but it's hard to do because people have backup copies now and just repost it again. So it is. Where you live in San Francisco?
It's Contra Costa County,
Yeah.
East Bay.
No, it's Arena. So you live on the opposite side. He does. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I know jack about San Francisco people. I know the Golden Gate Bridges. That's about the extent of what I know. Well, I know there's good food and nice people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Ever since the humble Lord woman moved there, Nancy Pelosi. I'm not sure, but man, I wish I could write a book about Nancy Pelosi, but I want to live another 10 or 20 years. It's like writing one about Hillary. Yeah, there's been people who wrote books about Hillary, and for some reason or another, they either end up dead or the book ends up making Hillary look good at the very end. Like, oh, it wasn't her fault. It was all these other evil people out there in the world. That's y'all think we're doing news tonight or something? Oh, I know why y'all are, because of banners in the background. That's why. All right, that makes sense now. Okay, I don't know how that banner. We'll have to change that out.
I would be careful, Joe, about talking about Hillary because she might deprogram you.
I ain't talking about Hillary.
Yeah,
I love Hillary. I worship the Hillary. I worship at the Hillary altar. Yes, I worship you, Hillary.
I always wondered, like, if you had a good journalist that would have been interviewing her that day, then like the most obvious follow-up question would be, "You want to deprogram? What does that mean? Can you explain exactly how that would?"
I know, yeah, because they were too
like,
chicken ass. That's what the problem was. Nobody was.
Yeah, how would that work? Yeah, how would that work? Talk me through it. Talk me through how you would do that.
Caroline, you talking about Benghazi, Caroline? Look, it doesn't matter. Hillary has gotten away with things that you and I can't get away with. Let me put it this way: just what happened with Trump and the election stuff, just falsifying data to change the outcome of election. That's 25 years. Did you see her getting any trouble? They stayed on Trump for 3 years over this. Then they found out Hillary did it on purpose, and then they found out the FBI was actually helping her along with Comey, and nobody got in any trouble. Now everybody in the FBI retired, so they wouldn't go to prison, but they should have went to prison. Yeah, because the FBI came right back and did. And look, FBI people, and I always like to say this because I hate to hate on people in the FBI. It's not the people who work the offices. It's not the people who work in the fields. It's 8 or 10 people at the top that have control that work for the DOJ. That's what the problem is. It's not your everyday FBI agent. He or she is just doing her damn job like everybody else on the planet. They're there to help and save and keep America safe. It's unfortunately that they've been, well, politicized. It is. Now that would be a good book. Politicalization. No, better not go there either. Damn.
It's called a history book.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Sean bumped off. Well, I'm talking about correct history book, not a fake history book.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the history. That's all. You just have to tell the truth, and you wouldn't need to write fiction.
Well, it's like, no, some of us would make good movies, but not until these players are all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no people. Well, I know Bohemian Grove is in California. I don't remember where. And it's up in
kind of north of Sausalito, kind of North Bay.
And it's not men only anymore, from what I hear. I never want to go there. I don't want to spy on them. I don't care what they do there, as long as there's no baby children involved. I don't care what they do, and I don't want to know. These are the elite that go hide themselves in the wood for 2 weeks with nobody around but servants. No, I don't want to know what goes on there. That's like Epstein Island on steroid. I just don't want to know. As a journalist, I should, but as somebody who wants to live longer, no. Let me put it this way. I cannot even tell you how many reporters poking around that place, especially in the early days, who just disappeared. They found one. Oh, he slipped down off the mountain and was crumbled. They found one eaten by a bear. But the funny part was it looked like he'd been hacked up and fed to the bear. No, people. You don't met. These are the most rich and most powerful people, not just in our country, but in the world. You just don't mess with these kind of people. No, because they have the means to make you disappear and nobody will care. I'm just warning you. That's all I'm saying. You want to go out there and poke around? Go ahead. It's like poking the bear. Go ahead. I'm not poking the bear. I'll poke the alien, mind you, but I ain't poking a bear. And because I'm more likely to die from someone in my own government than from an extraterrestrial. Let's just be honest about it. Mm-hmm. I've been more than once, people. I've been more. I have never been flagged on. I've been sanctioned on politics, but I've never been flagged on politics. Sanction just means that I got really close to breaching my Class 10 security clearance. That's all. talking about things like EMP shield. And they got really nasty one day because I said that the F-14, the F-18 had EMP shield. I told them I wasn't going to stop talking about it because I knew the Russians and Chinese knew about it. So why bother? I said, if they find it out from me, y'all some sad SOBs. But there's other things I've said that, talk about. What bothers me is I have been in the service in almost 40 years. And still a lot of the stuff I was involved with is still classified. Things, and the really best part about it is the Nimitz is being scrapped and it's still classified. So, because we were talking about Old Salty, which is the reactor room, which is the reactor. Mm-hmm. And we got flagged on that. You can't talk about that, Joe. I'm like, dude, the reactor's 30 years old. No, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about how spin cycles work or any of that. I'm like, no problem. And whoever wrote that, no, I was not a physicist. I was advanced avionics electronics. I got promoted to lieutenant while I was in. I started as enlisted, and got a field commission to lieutenant. Well, actually, I got lieutenant JG first. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because generally you got to go through a bunch of BS to go from rank to rank to rank to rank to rank to rank. And the higher the rank, the harder it is to be. You got to go in front of boards and all kind of stuff, answer questions. You got to really have your shit together if you want to go way up in the chain. I never was planning on being an officer. I planned on being a grunt. I liked being the grunt. I had fun. And then they made me have to be responsible. That's like, this is bullshit. Who wants to be responsible, man? How come I was 18? Come on. Give me a break.
It's hard enough to be responsible for yourself. And
I know.
Then you have 16 knuckleheads doing all sorts of crazy stuff that you're responsible for.
It's so strange because so many of the guys I met when I was on duty, after a year or two, when they went home to see their girlfriend or their loved ones, they all pretty much said the same. It didn't feel the same. It was almost like they outgrew them. Because you do grow up. I mean, these are dangerous jobs. Your things become really safe. I mean, you can still be stupid and crazy when you're off duty, but when you're on duty, things can really get hairy really fast. And so it does change the way you look at the world and the way you think about people. I know when I came back and met my girlfriend, I was kind of like, she just seemed smaller, I guess. It's hard to explain, and we tried for about a year, but it just wasn't going to work. She was still the same person she was when I left. I just wasn't. She was still the goofy girl I dated, but I wasn't. I was somebody else. That's just the way it is. 21 kids. Damn, Sean, 21 kids. God, dude, put a cork in it, man. I'm just saying.
21.
She's using Jean Perry's name on her messenger thing. She said, I read that he's got 21 kids. I don't even think he's old enough to have 21 kids. I mean, well, really,
it's possible if I had more than one wife. Sure, that's possible.
He don't look like the kind of guy who marries a wife that likes to share either.
Yeah.
Who's mine? No, mine would never share. She'd smack somebody upside the freaking head. Nope, she's not the sharing type. I do tell all the time. She said, "Nah," because I said, "Well, I'm old, but people offer to be my sugar mom for times." I said, "Well, they can afford us, baby." And when she means can they afford it, she means it for sure. She's not talking no chump change here. Oh man. No, actually, this is not the usual time for this show. It's 3 to 5. Well, I wanted to talk to Sean. I missed him on Wednesday, and I wanted to catch up with him tonight. I just hadn't seen him right. And we're going to have him back. Does he has you next Wednesday or the Wednesday after?
He hasn't arranged it yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I want some of that stuff he's smoking out there in Cali, man. Damn. Cali, what are you talking? Look, people, I don't want to look. You want me to tell y'all something? I know you want me to tell you how I know Cali weed's good, and I ain't even smoked any. Want me to tell you how I know? So last year, myself and Larry Elmore and Tom Wood and a couple of others, April Solomon and a few others, all decided we're going to walk over to Author Services and take some pictures with all the stuff they had set up in front of it. So we leave the Lowe's Hotel. We make the first corner. By the time we got to the middle of the street, I was already red-eyed. By the time we got to the corner, I was catching a buzz. When we made the corner, headed to the place, by the time all of us was stoned by the time we got to Frey. I'm not kidding y'all, man. There is so many people smoking so much dope in Hollywood that it's not even funny. I mean, no, I have nothing against it. I'm not anti any of that. It was just kind of funny because one of the guys with us, he wanted to go get some edibles because he'd never tried them before. And I was like, dude, be careful with them edibles. Everybody makes the same mistake. Oh, they eat one. Oh, I ain't got no buzz. They eat another one. Oh, I got a little buzz. They eat another. All of a sudden, they're like, wow. They trip it on acid or something. Oh, man. I'm just warning y'all people. I don't know nothing about any of that stuff. I'm an angel. Oh, no. I'm angelic like, is the saying. Oh, you seen that, Badus? It's right here. Oh, well, let me get back. Yes. You can only see that if you're on Roku and you have high def 4K TV. There is a little. Here, let me show y'all. Nobody's going to believe me, see? It's right there. It's this little eyeball. And it's right there. And since you wrote that and showed me that, I'm going to give you your boy's lightsaber tonight. So send me your information to my iCard email address. ICA@Cox.net. You'll get, I keep wanting to say Kylo Ren, but you'll get Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Send the information. I'll send it to Mark, and you'll probably have it to you within a week. It'll be there before Christmas, yeah. Mm-hmm. We get them. We can go right up until 4 days before Christmas and get them there still on Christmas. Yeah. No, if you're a host or a member of the station or a guest, you can't get a lightsaber. So a good friend of mine who's a guest, right? He said, "Well, I'm gonna have my wife calling. You don't even know who she is." I said, "I'll know when the address comes up, though, won't I?" He's like, "Damn, I'm sending you my mom's address." Well, they're not easy to win. There's a lot of people that comes on to win. Well, I'll tell you what I will do because I don't have any of Sean's books though. I will talk with I forgot who does our book thing right now. I will talk with Ronnie and see if they will pick up a couple. And what we'll do is later on in a month when we give out a lightsaber, because we usually give out a book when we give out a lightsaber. Last year we gave away a lot of last year we gave away a lot of books, 2,000 books last year, over 2,000 books last year. We gave away 200 Writers of the Futures, 3 different types, and then we gave away Mission Earth and what was the other one somewhere? Fear. We gave away a bunch of fears too. Mm-hmm. And then we have other authors like Non-Human by Gary Hazlett. This is a good book. This is my autograph copy. Whatever you see up here is probably autographed, so it's not going to be given away. But when you look to the side, there's lots of other stuff over there. Yes, and I know y'all heard about the L. Ron Hubbard books, the hardbacks. That's for a show that John and I are doing in the near future. Maybe after I get the whole set, and maybe after the show's finished, I might give them off or I might auction them off. And on another side note, we're going to have a contest here probably after Christmas. We're going to bring on 4 of the top dragon illustrators, including the guy who illustrates for Dungeons and Dragons on against 4 students who won with dragons in the last 2 years and see who's actually the dragon master. Denise, Larry Elmore is the one who does the dragons for Dungeon and Dragon. Yes, he is. He's quite famous, actually. And he is a character and a half. I love to. Man, I have to get him on when Sean's on with me. We'll all get put in jail, probably.
He was an armor too. He was stationed at Fort Knox.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, he did. So. I remember telling. No, you're right. I remember telling about Fort Knox. When you said Fort Knox, I remembered it.
Yeah, he used to draw. He used to draw all the. They used to call it Tassi. I don't know what that means anymore, but he, he would do a lot of the illustrations for the army, for different weapon systems. Like, yeah.
Well, y'all can just look him up, guys. He's talented. Yeah, he's. But no, it's something we're going to be doing in the near future. We'll probably donate to St. Jude or something. We'll probably auction off everything. But, well, these guys are serious illustrators. Tom Wood does a lot of illustration for the NFL. And he does it for quite a few other companies, and so does Larry. Does it for everybody and their mama, but nowadays he's just doing it for the sake of doing it, and he's got some pretty good artwork out there. Echo Chernick is very talented as well. But anyway, there's going to be 4 masters, and when I say masters, these are people who are making big money and have been into art for more than 30 years. Just to give you a heads up. And then we're going to bring in the girls or the boys, whoever they may be. It's probably going to be 2 girls, 2 guys. for the people who want it, Writers of the Future, and see if they can beat the masters out right now. In case y'all didn't know, Tom Wood did the dragon for last year's book, which is, I think, right here. Let me see. Yes, this is the one he did. Oh, damn, I'm breaking stuff all over the place. This is the one he did last year. That one right there. And so that's the dragon from book 39. I don't know who's doing the cover for book 40. I haven't heard. Let me see if you look. Oh, and then this. Also, this. Well, if Sean don't need this, but for the rest of you people, y'all probably need this. How to Write a Howling Good Story by Wolf Moon. So y'all can get that. And we'll be giving this. We gave away one copy the other day. We're going to give away another copy. This one, unfortunately, is my autographed copy, so I don't get to give it away. And whoops, something fell out of it. And what do you mean what we're going to do for authors if we're going to do something for illustrators? Well, it's going to be hard to have a contest with an author. I guess what we could do is whoever wins the dragon thing, we could have 4 authors coming in and compete for the story for the dragon. I don't know. I mean, if y'all think of a better idea, tell me. If Sean thinks of an idea, it doesn't matter. This is more about getting this into the public. I'm big into literacy. I want to see people writing. Don't get me wrong. I love illustrations, but I really want to see people writing because I like showing stories. Some of these may go to movies one day, or they might take the group of stories and make them into one movie, kind of work them together. Well, anthologies can be done like that unless they're really far apart. I mean, sometimes the stories are too far apart, but sometimes they're written close enough that you can do some finagling here and there. Well, no, it's just, but that's the point of Writers of the Future. Is they're the guys who are actually going to have the pros out there who's going to probably be making the next big books, the next big sci-fi movies, the next big fantasy movies. What do you mean? They don't do that kind of stuff at Writers of the Future. No, it's fantasy and sci-fi and steampunk and stuff like that. It's not how you better your hair, dude. No, I'm sorry. It's just not how that works. PG-13 people, not PG-17. Yes, writersfuture.com. You can go over there and take the course. If you're really good, you can hook up with Wolf Moon. Let me tell you something, though. What I've noticed with most of these authors, they have enough friends in the fields that they can critique each other's works. So, get involved with a writers group somewhere. And, of course, there's always Kickstarter. Wolf just made $25,000 off of Kickstarter to get his new book out. Yeah. So, yeah, Kickstarter is a way to get your book out there and make money. You can pre-sell them. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. It depends how many followers you got, I guess. Or how many people stumble across the page or where you can advertise the pages at. Yep, there is Kickstarter. But we got to get out of here. Sean been here all night with us. His wife's probably saying, will you get the pick off the TV already, dude? She said, God, we got things we got to do. Christmas is like just 2 weeks away. Who, me? No. My wife and my mom used to tell me all the time I should have been born a girl the way I like to shop. Oh, hell yeah. If I got money, I like to shop. Psh, I'm detrimental when I get big money in the bank. Yeah. Right now I'm poor, so contractor. Sometimes I have a lot of money, sometimes I don't. It just depends. Mm-hmm. COVID and Joe Biden have cost me almost $225,000 out of my savings. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when that's all you got in your savings, it's kind of rough. It's just nobody wants to do any work. It's tight. Everybody's cranky and everybody's worried we're going to get into a big war. Nothing seems to be moving. But then every time I hear Joe Biden on it, economy's the best it's been in 100 years. I'm like, what country do we live in? Different countries, man. Come on. I mean, just the other day I was bitching because eggs were $3.34. I'm like, eggs. So, since I live in a country, I went to weigh eggs at 99 cents, but still. Gas down here finally dropped down to about $2.29. And then Joe Biden was touting that. Well, you know what it was when Donald Trump was president, guys? It was $1.19 down here. $1.19. Eggs were 99 cents. Bread was $1.50, and milk was $1.50. That's all doubled or tripled since the white boy got in office. Well, y'all used to call Donald the orange guy, so I'm calling Joe the white guy. I'm just saying. Anyway, we got to go. Sean, tell them any good parting words, where they can find you, how you love them, how they love you.
Yeah, so check out my YouTube channel. It's called Through a Glass Darkly with Sean. Where I cover where the paranormal meets military science fiction and fact. You can find my 3 anthologies. So there's Weird World War III, Weird World War IV, and Weird World War China on Amazon or anywhere else books are sold. And then I have my website is www.seanpatrickhazlett.com.
So get over there and visit him. Well, no, we're going to have this is a new show, so we don't know what kind of attention we're getting out of this show. But he'll be on with me on Wednesday, which is a much larger show. No, I'll let y'all know. It might be this Wednesday, maybe it'll be one of these Wednesdays, okay? That's between him and Carmen. They do that stuff. Well, no, y'all don't know who Carmen is, so don't even worry about it. And I couldn't explain y'all who Carmen is. Carmen is a friend who does. He works for Writers of the Future, or got one of them over there, and he does guest acquisitions and promotions and stuff like that for them and for us. Yes,
Carmen's great.
Great. John Goodwin allows me to borrow him, basically. Yeah, John's a good friend of mine. John and I get along great. Nah, John's fun. He's never had to deal with anybody like me either. He's probably like, God, this guy's getting nuts, man. You can tell when I show up at Writers of the Future because the whole crowd changes, man. I tear everybody's ass up. Because everybody treats me great. I noticed now when I see them, I've actually missed them the last 2 years. So that they're really good people. Y'all can say whatever you want to say about people, but they're always treating me really well. They've never asked me to do anything I didn't want to do or get involved in anything I didn't want to do. And they're very professional with all the winners and the judges.
Because I get class.
Yeah.
First class operation. First class.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, they for Books a Millions and for Barnes and Nobles, I think it's 500 signed copies they each buy at the beginning. They actually buy more than that, but I think that's what they sent them in the beginning is 500 signed copies to sell. Plus, well, yeah, because they're interested. The books are good. They're fun. Actually, these books are really good, right, for the holidays. These are perfect books for the holidays because the stories are non-offensive. It's a good time to be reading them. You can sit down and enjoy the book. There's 12, well, actually sometimes more than 12 stories in a book. There might be 14. Or you can buy the set like behind me. It's $125. It's normally $180. You get, if you buy it through our website, you save $60. Yeah. So go buy it. What's funny about it, if you want, you can buy it and just get rid of the box and give everybody else of course the box is cute, but you just give everybody a book. What do you mean? Can I get you discounts? No, what did I just tell you? Saving $60. I just got you a discount. What the hell are you talking about? Get you a discount. Oh man. Y'all better buy some. Maliva's gonna hurt me when she sees me, man. She's tough. But we gotta go, guys. We're already late. We had to make a little time because we started late, but we're gonna get out of here. Y'all be sure to go check out Sean's work, see what he's up to. We'll be back. We'll have him back soon. We'll be talking a little bit more in depth about some other stuff. Well, tonight was just perusing. I hadn't seen him in a while. I like hanging out. He's fun to chat with. He's almost as crazy as I am. If I ever get Chris and him and I together, we'll end up in jail for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody's wife will have to come bail us out. Oh, what's that, Stephanie? No, really, no. I still like. I enjoy life. Look, life is this long, and I've lived about this much of it. So I want to enjoy the rest of it. But anyway, on that note, we got to go. I hope everyone enjoyed the Authors Quill. It's a new thing. Don't forget it's here on 3 to 5 on Saturdays. Every Saturday we'll be here 3 to 5. You won't always see me as author. Sometimes John Goodman will be here. Sometimes Jeffrey Pritchard will be here. Sometimes Jack will be here. Maybe a couple of females. We might talk and some people like Sean to come by. So, it's just different hosts doing different things, talking different stories. I know Jeffrey's talking about bringing some Bigfoot people on board he wants to talk with because he's written 2 Bigfoot books. So, well, no, we have 5 authors on the network, 4 authors on the network, and they all want to be hosts, and we're planning on bringing more on. Why authors make good hosts? I just told you, especially authors when they break 30, they break about 34, 35 going up after that. They're good. They're way more open. They're way easier to chat. They're way more talkative. When they're younger, they're not. It flip-flops with inverts and experts, but no, it's just part of the business. What's the
Plus
oldest
they
writer? Okay.
plus they have more experience
They
talking
do
to
have
people
money.
and,
They
and
do.
living life, right?
Yeah, it's true. It does make a difference. The oldest writer I ever met was at Writers of the Future. I think he was 70, 69 or 70. Yeah. And there were a couple of them there in 60. There's a lot of ages. And it spans a lot of groups. The youngest one I met out there was 15. Yeah. But I think she was an illustrator. I don't think she was she came from Spain too. Yeah. So if you're listening around the world, which I don't know how many countries listen to this show yet, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, except for maybe communist country. But other than that, they brought people from China, so you can come if you win, and they will. They have no qualm. They flew Blue Eyes in from Australia. I mean, Australia's for the freaking farthest place you can get from L.A. It's completely on the other side of the planet. It's at the bottom of the planet on the other side of the planet, and they flew them up no problem. And they even helped to get your family up to come see you. So it's a different. It's just different. But anyway, on that note, we got to go and thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Authors Quill. Any moans, groans, bitches, and complaint, write to Michelle DeRoche because that's her headache, not mine. You mean if you're gonna bitch about me? Yeah, still write to Michelle. She's the boss. I keep telling you, I'm the owner. She the boss. That's how that works. She's in charge of everything on this network. I'm just here to work. Yeah, I am. Anyway, on that note, good night, and we'll see y'all. Well, I guess I will see y'all. What is it, Saturday? I will see y'all Wednesday. So stay tuned to see who's the craziest person on the network. Good night, everybody. Oh, wait, let me see. Oh, Lordy.